Welcome, guys. I feel so excited to be here to share with you videos from all over the internet that's going to make us question every single thing we know in this world. Let's just start.
You ever heard of the Dark Ages?
Yes.
If you go to the Dark Ages of Europe, the reason why the white man called it the Dark Ages is because he was ruling and he was in, or black people was ruling, he was in his low state. He was not ruling. So the King James, the Beethovens, the Constantine, all of the rulers that we think were white people were not white people. That's why they had what's called the Renaissance era, where they would take all the images of the black people and then just paint them white. But if you get a book called like the Russian Icons, it'll tell you in the book called the Russian Icons, it'll tell you that this is the artwork that survived the whitewashing of the Renaissance era.
Can you see that? What's that?
This footage was taken in South America off the coast of Chile after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake. Let me know what you think it is.
A mermaid? Damn.
This next video I was tagged in on TikTok. Apparently it was filmed somewhere near Malaysia. I have no clue where to even begin on this one, guys. So if you hear of any legend or lore or know of anything, let me know. But this thing is weird. If it's not AI, it's definitely nothing I've ever seen, heard of, or encountered before. So if you have any insight, please let me know in the comments.
Oh, okay. What? What is this? What? Is this swimming or flying? It's crazy. Damn.
I just saw this picture from the Middle East and it just let me know how disassociated we are. Look at this picture, guys. Living in the States, I feel like some of us don't even realize just how crazy these experiences are for human beings over there. Like literally, this is a regular night in the Middle East, depending on what country you're in. And you're looking up and you're seeing your whole community get destroyed. People are losing their lives. People are suffering. There's famine. People are like crying out for help. Whole buildings just breaking down. Like I used to think when Matthew 24 discussed the stars falling from the sky, I thought it was a metaphor because we were experiencing like celebrities lose their legacies. You see the Diddy, the Weinsteins, like whatever the case may be, even the Tyler Perry. But no, I think this could be what they meant. Like literal, it looks like stars falling from the sky. People are being unalived left and right because of power trips, because of wars and egos. I don't know what's what, but I just feel like this, we're so dissociated, we don't even understand the severity of what other human beings are experiencing right now. Let me know your thoughts when you see these pictures. Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Because I just feel like living on the western side, we like are at the beach, everybody's having a great summer, people are at Disney World, like people are on cruises. People don't even understand that on the other side of the world, this is happening. Like people can't even go outside, and if they do, people are fighting for food. Like it is insane. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you don't know what I'm talking about, save this video, go look into it, come back, share your thoughts. I'm using that picture only for reference purposes. This is all alleged, can't confirm or deny it. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
50,000 trans people just ended their life after Trump got rid of the LGBTQ suicide prevention hotline. Usually I would make a joke, but God, we are losing so many young lives because of this. Now, some people are saying this is a good thing, but I just want you to check this out for a second. Nearly 7 out of 10 trans people have experienced depression in this previous year. Out of any group of people, trans people literally like have the most depression. So him getting rid of the prevention hotline is like actually insane. Like it's almost as if he wants them to have issues, which is kind of crazy. And honestly, I'm not even surprised. I'm really not. What excuse could you genuinely have for shutting down a suicide lifeline? I mean, maybe he's trying to cut costs, but like, dude, come on. Trying to like, you're literally ending people's lives with this. Like, this is unbelievable. And it seems like their whole administration is shutting this down. I mean, is this a W or an L? What are they going to use this money for anyways if they shut this down? Like, that's what I'm honestly curious about. But this is going extremely viral, so let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
You would not believe the level of darkness people have in their souls. And when they don't know they're being monitored, the kind of crap you get exposed to in their lives, it affects you because you're like, holy crap, I just heard this.
What kinds of things?
Just awful things like, pastors that are sodomizing their staff. You're talking really serious crap. And you do have to report on some of that. And then there's other times when you just, you know somebody and they're messing around on their wife, but at work you would never suspect. And so you're like, I know who you are and I know what the hell you're doing. You're not what you're portraying to people. And you just, I'm done. You just get to the point where you're just kind of like done with that part of it. So
Does it make you hate people?
I didn't hate people. I just didn't like the dark side of people.
They're here, y'all. And Detroit, they're saying they are here. Did you guys see what happened in Detroit yesterday? In the meanwhile, check this out. Look at this. A tornado came through. Look at this. Look at these crazy clouds in Detroit, Michigan, y'all. So apparently the Anunnaki has been tapping to the radio of Detroit, Michigan military base. Now, all of this was swept under the rug and no one was talking about it until today. There was a small town in Michigan that was getting interferences. They lost power and all of a sudden, y'all, they saw a huge blue plasma orb manifest out of the portal out of the sky. But over here, it looks red. It looks like something is on fire. Now, at the same time, this blue orb was telepathically talking to the people, y'all.
Oh, an entire neighborhood had their phones taken over for about 2 minutes. And on there, it also said, "We are the Anunnaki. We are here." What? First, there was a military base that had this happen. And of course, everything gets pushed under the rug and hushed. And now it happened in Michigan, in a small town, in a neighborhood. And they said after their phones were taken over and this happened, they all saw flashing lights outside.
Which was this video over here. He said there was a blue plasma orb that manifested out of nowhere. It started flashing and all of a sudden the sky turned into this violent red color. And look at all these clouds, y'all, look.
Phones were taken over and this happened. They all saw flashing lights outside. This was about 10 o'clock at night, so they went outside to see this flashing light. It was a huge ball of like plasma, they said, and it just sat there hovering, watching them. They all said that they could hear telepathically something or someone talking to them saying, "We are here to save you."
And y'all, don't forget the doomsday plane has just landed, y'all. Something big is going down, y'all. What do you guys feel? Please let me know down in the comments below. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. Let's get it, y'all. Peace in.
This is the downside of being too aware of your reality.
Watch
I seen a
this.
video of this dude that just said being too aware of everything is kind of depressing.
It really can.
I'm not
be.
gonna lie, I absolutely agree. Because why do I go around the world caring about things that don't care for me? Like, for example, if I'm in a group setting and I see you leaving somebody out of a conversation, and I see that person does not feel good about being left out the conversation, I will feel bad. I will have to include that person. Whole time that person wouldn't do that for me. That person wouldn't do that for me. Another example, if I'm cool with somebody and I see that they're genuinely getting mad about something that they don't need to be getting mad about, I will get mad. Because I know in the back of my head, bro, this does not even matter. and you're getting this mad, and I'm be like, bro, just chill. It does not matter. And they're like, it do matter. That's what's gonna make me mad because I understand deeper than what he's understanding. The fact that this small little issue is not going to last, so you do not need to be that mad. There's obviously more examples, but those are the two that really be bugging me.
Awareness, self-awareness is a true gift. But with everything, there's always a downside. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
You make the observation in your book, and you say that you have said it many times when you were president of the United States, that no president is ever going to desert Israel. Right?
Correct. I put it more bluntly. I said, as I told congressional leaders during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, no American president will let Israel go down the tube.
All right.
Democrat or Republican, it's not an issue.
That is stated fairly categorically, and yet in your book you make it clear at the same time that Israel really is not of any enormous strategic value to the United States anymore.
That's correct.
So why then would the United States continue to burden itself with huge loans, in some cases outright grants, to the Israelis, jeopardize possibly young American fighting men, when there is no strategic value involved, or little strategic
Because the
value?
United States is concerned by more than strategic values. That's maybe a weakness, but it's the way we are. And there are moral issues involved here. We don't have an alliance with Israel, as you know. They're not an ally of the United States in the technical sense. But we have a bond to Israel that's much stronger. It's a moral commitment. A moral commitment because of what happened during the Holocaust, and a moral commitment because it is a democracy, the only democracy in that area. And under the circumstances, that is why American presidents and the American people in the future will support all out the survival of Israel if it's attacked.
You've always been a very tough, pragmatic man. And I just wonder if you were the president of Israel and you heard Richard Nixon talking that way, or for that matter, heard any sitting American president talk that way, and say, but there's really no strategic value anymore, how much faith would you place in that kind of a moral commitment if push really came to shove?
If I were the president of Israel, I'd put a great deal of faith in it because of the track record of the United States, and also because he would know that that is the way the American people are. There is no doubt whatever of our commitment to Israel.
Why did no one warn me that every single time I went to see a movie in a movie theater, I was being watched in 4K? Because if I knew this earlier, I probably would have made some different decisions in the thing. Now, you see, I found this out because one of my friends just happens to work at a popular theater chain. And this past weekend, he was just like, yo, Mark.
I know people who go to the cinema and do really bad stuff. And if it's in 4K, this is so crazy. What? I haven't done it before though, but then I know a couple of people who have, and this is crazy. I mean, who knows? Let's get back to the video.
I can get you free tickets into the How to Train Your Dragon movie. Do you want to go? And I was like, yes, I want to go. So fast forward a couple days, I get to the theater, but I get there a little early, and my friend's there because he's working, and he spots me, and he's just like, yo, Mark, do you want to go see the back where I work before your movie? And I was like, yes, of course I want to see the back. So my dear friend takes me to the back, and the first room he takes me to is the security room where all the security cameras are broadcasted to. Now, in this room, there was a bunch of screens, and on the screens was live footage of each theater auditorium, and the quality was good. And when I say good, my friend zoomed in on the footage and I could see pimples. And when I saw that, I kind of started freaking out on the inside because I thought back to all of the times I may or may not have done some things in a theater that I shouldn't have. But nonetheless, as I'm internally freaking out, my friend points to the security footage of the theater I was about to go into to watch How to Train Your Dragon. He was just like, oh, haha, I'll be able to see you while you're watching your movie. And I was just like, haha. But my friend does not stop there. He goes, let's find your seat. So we go searching for my seat in this theater. It's important to keep in mind that as we are searching for my seat, the movie is finishing up. So there's still people in the theater. There's still people in the seats. And out of all those people, as we were searching, we came across this couple that had a suspiciously placed blanket over their laps. Me and my friend quickly come to realize that this blanket was there for good reason. This couple was up to no good. In other words, a dragon was being trained. Yeah, after that, we left that room and and he showed me the rest of the place. But oh my God, I was legitimately shaken, like, cause that could have been me. That being said, when it was my turn to be in that theater, let it be known I was on my best behavior. I was locked in. But am I alone in this? Like, does this freak anybody else out? Because I thought I was safe in the darkness.
When Prince Charles, before he became King Charles III, he said he was descended from Vlad the Impaler, which is who Dracula is based on, the vampire movies. And Dracula means son of a dragon, with the A on the end, and it's rooted in Draconta and Dracont, meaning a watcher in Greek. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Vlad the Impaler is your typical noble Celt, your noble giant. He's red-haired, he's hazel-eyed, pale-skinned, sensitive to light, educated at the mystery school in Austria, in Vienna, and he's of the bloodlines, and he takes his bloodlines back to a tribe produced by Hercules, the Agrathi, and another branch as well.
If there's any interfering energies in your energy field, it is usually represented as a distortion in your physical body. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to place your hands together like book pages. There is a line that comes below your little finger up towards your third finger. I want you to match those up like book pages. Then I want you to let your eyes follow up to this top crease on your little finger. And do they match? Yes. Or is one longer out of alignment? If they don't match, simply I'm going to tell you your polarities are out. And we want your energies balanced, right? So my question to you is, if there's anything interfering with your free will choice and your ability to manifest and move forward according to your heart's desire, do you choose to be free? Yes. If you choose to be free, I invite all of you to do this just for the exercise. From the divine love that flows within my being. Whatever is in my auric field. That is interfering with my free will choice. Whether it is here with or without my permission. I command. In the name of the Creator. And the divine love that flows within my being. That it goes to the nucleus of its being. I command that this now be transmuted into the divine expression of creative love. And so it is. Now, for those whose hands may have been out of alignment, if you check now, you might be surprised to find out they're in alignment. For simplicity's sake, I would say that your polarities were off, and they were. But for you of higher understanding here tonight, I'm going to suggest and tell you that you had an entity. There's more than one soul in that body. And picking up an entity is not unusual. We could take the next 10 people walking down the street and you'd find several with their hands out. But you don't have to pick them up. You don't have to embody them. You can simply, by this beautiful proclamation, send them home. We sent them to the nucleus of their being. That is the golden spark that lies within each one of us that connects us to Creator. As long as you have an emotional bond to a loved one, they cannot cross over. They cannot leave the earth plane. The greatest gift of love you can ever give someone is to let them go. And so after a while, they decide, well, I can't go anywhere. I just might as well jump in the back seat of this vehicle and go along for the ride. It's much more exciting to be in a vehicle than it is to be without a vehicle. That's why we came and took a vehicle. I call this your home, and nobody can come into your home without your permission. But sometimes we give permission because we simply forget to close the door. Here's the one I like. It's a beautiful candlelit dinner. You're holding a glass of wine in our hands. We look deep into each other's eyes and we say, we'll be together forever. Ooh, the power of words. We just made a contract. And one passes over and says, hey, I don't have to go anywhere. I have a contract. Now you got a traveling buddy. For the most part, they're just content to sit in the back of the vehicle and go along for the ride. But once in a while, they might say, hey, you get in the back, I'd like to drive a while. Once in a while, they might even say, I like it up here. You just stay back there. And pretty soon you find out you're no longer in charge of your vehicle. So the first thing we want to do in the healing process is to make sure we have no freeloaders riding along in our vehicle.
So I live in China, and the United States is not real because what do you mean? What do you mean we can get a 4-bedroom apartment with a big kitchen? Look how big this kitchen is. Look how big this kitchen is. Literally, this big
Which
old
city is
kitchen
this?
for only $1,000 a month. Like, this place is huge. Don't mind all the stuff we're cleaning right now, obviously, because you gotta clean the place before you move in. But look at this. 4 bedrooms, 1, 2, 3,
They are really spacious.
4, and this is the master bedroom. Like, are you kidding? With 3 bathrooms, by the way. 1, 2, 3. The last one is in the master bedroom. So, if you think that living abroad isn't lit, I don't know what to tell you. But we're about to furnish this whole place. So if you don't follow our Passport Visions page, make sure you follow our other page. But I'll be posting updates here too. So make sure you guys stay tuned and stay locked in because we're so excited
so
to furnish
happy.
this whole
Yes,
place.
excited, right?
Oh my God.
He says he was forced to make old food look fresh. That's why he secretly recorded his supervisor admitting tampering with best before dates is industry standard.
Every store does the same thing. All the other stores do the same.
At his home, Safari demonstrates what he says is done at work. He takes cheesecakes weeks past their best before dates, adds new toppings, and sells as fresh.
I decorate it, and I'm selling expired stuff for...
In a national online call-out, Marketplace hears from grocery workers at smaller stores and big chains, sharing stories of food tampering. He used to work in a Toronto area supermarket. He shows us how he was told to give old meat new life.
If it's like this, we would dabble in a little bit of blood, throw it into the meat mincer with some redder meats, and then all together it would make it look red. And then we put it back up on the shelf.
At the University of Guelph, a microbiologist simulated what Grocery Insiders told us they do. He discovered toxins and bacteria linked to serious illness.
Do you guys know about the Schofield Bible? Oh boy, here's a rabbit hole for you. Here's a rabbit hole for all of us. In the early 1900s, right around when the Federal Reserve was founded and the Balfour Declaration happened, right at that exact same time, the Rothschild family hired this dude, this pastor in the Deep South. He made a new version of the Bible called the Schofield Bible. He wrote this new Bible that has all these new interpretations of the text. So they didn't change.
Jewish influence.
Yes, literally. That's where Judeo-Christianity kind of came from. And the idea that Israel is this modern Israel thing is the Israel of the Bible. It came from that Bible. And the Schofield Bible was funded by the Rothschild family. And then it was pushed because they owned the publisher that publishes like all the books. I think it was Oxford Press. And so they had the deals that they could make to get that Bible into all the mega churches across whole denominations of Christianity. And so that was when Christianity got kind of Jewified.
Oh, okay.
A man is the most defenseless when he lies down with a promiscuous woman. We see that with Stag when he gets bit by Mary during sex. A lot of men, they fall prey to promiscuous women. The demons of those promiscuous women get into your bloodline, can possess you and get into your children. Promiscuous woman's feet go straight down to hell.
Crazy. Do you see their eyes?
Pay close attention to her eyes the whole time. Look
Yeah.
how big they are. And one goes without the other. There's that.
She's behaving so weird.
It's almost like she's like an android or something. That's why I kept saying, watch it, watch it.
Let's sing close.
Damn.
I dress wonky, as you may. Yo, what?
What the? Why? Billie Eilish. Why? She dressed so weirdly. What is this?
What we're talking about is they have found a whole new minefield, and it is your conscience. They are now mining human conscience. And so they're not just mining, okay, let's try to foretell what this person wants to purchase or what this person wants to consume online. They are capturing neural data points such as our emotions, our personality, our motives, our intent. This is where the cognitive dissonance is going to kick in, because people are going to go, well, that's just Minority Report and that's just a movie. You have to realize in some cases which came first, the chicken or the egg. What happens is the movies come first to get us uncomfortable with these very uncomfortable thoughts, and then 20, 30 years later, the actual tech gets rolled out.
It's been a check engine light since you were 15. Wait, so interesting. So is it possible to not have menstrual cramps? Absolutely. My girls don't have cramps.
Hold on. So you're saying menstrual cramps?
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to cramp on your cycle?
You don't have to have cramps. Change your food. Wow. I feel like that's starting a beef if you tell your woman that. I am delivered. What's up with all these cramps?
Oh no. Coach Rosen.
Right. Listen. Many. The women that get in my program, they give testimonies. Cramps are gone. Wow. That's a testimony. Cramps are gone.
So you're supposed to be able to work out on your cycle?
Yeah. Fibroids, my flow. Oh my God, my flow is barely there. My cramps are gone. My fibroids have been reduced. They're shrinking. I'm telling you, y'all. Listen to me. Y'all not listening to me. I said all roads lead back to God's food. I said whatever the see, y'all didn't believe me.
Crazy. Wow.
So come on then, Mick. How on earth do you grow human meat?
I want to introduce you to our nutrient vat.
Hello, Nutrient Vat, Greg Wise, telepresenter, and your job is?
Well, what its job is, it processes thin slices of tissue in a nutrient-rich mix, which you see here, and then cells start to grow. So over a 24-hour period, these will slowly fuse together into one great big, what we call a cake.
So you're telling me that is human flesh?
Exactly.
But why human meat? Why not animal meat?
That's a very good question. We've got centuries of knowledge of human medicine at our side. We know more about humans than we do about animals. So we've mastered engineering human cells to make these structured flavours and sinews that we expect from the flavours of steaks we eat.
This must be a relatively new process.
It is. I mean, under EU law, we couldn't possibly operate machines like this due to legislation. But thankfully now we're out. We can harvest people and we can pay them for their flesh.
So what happens to this now?
Right, well, this will either be cut into steaks or it'll go off and be processed for sausages, burgers, you name it. You can do anything with it.
Artificial intelligence was made to have the top 100 Forbes companies lay off over 80% of the United States people, whether they're citizens or immigrants, and to cause over a 50% unemployment in Americans. And this will happen all at once. They're going to have a meeting and they're going to lay off everybody all at once. So this event, probably in the next year or 5 years, is scheduled to happen. And that's basically what the AI is supposed to do. And it's supposed to cause like an economic instability, and also it's supposed to cause like the billionaires to be looking more eliter than you, like differences between us. Like there won't be, these people who have jets and things closer to billionaires, there will be a bigger disparity between the rich and the poor because of it. But that's what artificial intelligence was meant to do. And they'll say that it went rogue or other excuses, but that's the main plan. So yeah.
So you want to see my hamburger? It's in a box in my closet. This is the sack that it came in, and it was advertising a NASCAR race in 1996. So this dates the hamburger in its sack to 24 years old now. These French fries look like they maybe could have fallen into your seat a month or so ago. They've never rotted or decayed. The hamburger itself, the bread has never molded. The meat has never rotted. It's never even broken. It's completely intact. Wow. So, 24-year-old hamburger. Not sure what would happen if you ate it though.
One of my friends whose mother lives in Iran, she called him and said, tell Mr. Trump we're ready for his bombs. The people of Iran want to be set free. But I do want to comment a little bit about negotiations and having talks with Iran. Every person in the US and elsewhere that is of Iranian descent understands this government will shake your hand in diplomacy with their right hand and will be enriching uranium in secret with their left hand. This democratic, the Democrats thinking that the Iranians believe what we believe and think the way Americans believe is naive and it's narcissistic. The Iranians do not understand negotiation. They see it as a weakness. They love to talk, they love these delays, and meanwhile they're continuing to enrich uranium. The only language this Iranian regime understands is force. It is the only language they respect and they will listen to. And overwhelming power, like what Israel did tonight, is the only way to achieve peace in that region. So, and I want to say one more thing. Iran is not Iraq. The American people, look at Iraq and they say we got rid of Saddam Hussein and somebody worse came in. Maybe the people of Iraq are not ready for democracy. The people of Iran are ready for democracy and they're hungry for it. And I hope that the weakening of this regime in Iran by what Israel has done tonight will allow them to rise up and take the beautiful country back.
Crazy. What? What's going on here? How did it get in? Is it even real? I don't think it is. It could be AI, maybe. But it looks so dangerous, crazy.
This is one way that Iran could harm the United States. Sleeper cells, and they're all over the country. So what is a sleeper cell? A sleeper cell is a covert network of deep cover operatives embedded in society who will live normal lives until activated to carry out espionage, sabotage, terrorism, or even assassinations by direct orders from their sponsoring regime. Iran, via the IRGC, Quds Force, and MOIS, has built such structures in Western countries, blending in through immigration and diplomatic friendly covers. And in case you didn't know, there are multiple truckers that have been posting online saying that all of the Middle Eastern truckers that they would daily come into contact with, they are nowhere to be found. And this is what an activation of a sleeper cell in America could look like. Assassinations of key figures, U.S. policymakers, military leaders, even the president, bombings or attacks on infrastructure, public transit or religious institutions, chemical or dirty bomb attacks, espionage, sabotage, including surveillance on nuclear facilities.
When you go to court in modern day times, if you cross that bar, you leave the spectator public side and you enter upon the battlefield of old. In this battlefield of old, you will be there to either physically forfend your named life in first name, not person, first name living man, woman status. Your opponent will be viewed by you. They'll give you a title for him and you'll view him as the prosecuting attorney. The word attorney literally means one who has experienced a turn of mind. What you have in an attorney is a failed feudal tenant who could not make a living as a farmer or decided before he or she even tried their hand at farming that the options were not good, failure was imminent, and so they go to the feudal land baron, whom you view as the state, and offer their services via a private contract to the feudal land baron called the state. If they get the contract, they then become the rent and fee gatherers for the state upon you who are no longer their fellow man.
Humans didn't start out white. For most of history, everyone was dark-skinned. You see, early humans lived near the equator, where the sun is brutal and dangerous. So their bodies made melanin, a pigment that shields skin from UV rays and keeps radiation from ripping DNA apart. Without it, the sun would shred their cells, causing mutations and deadly cancer. Dark skin was life or death. But when people started migrating north, everything changed. The sun got weaker. The same melanin that once protected them started blocking out too much light. Less sunlight meant less vitamin D, and without it, bones grew fragile, immune systems collapsed, and survival got harder. So, over thousands of years, their skin adapted. Dark skin mutated gradually, generation after generation, to let in just enough sunlight to stay alive. Light skin came from the cold, and it only exists because the sun went missing.
Alright, I don't get political, but just listen to what this guy's about to say. This recording was done in 2014. Call me conspiracy theorist, call me whatever you want, but just listen what he's saying, what's happening right now between the US and other countries. Wow.
World wars change worlds, and if you have a global agenda, then global problems allow you to offer global solutions. This is an agenda that's projected a long way forward. The Muslim world being brought into a war with the political Zionism, what today we call Israel, and that this would, you know, in my terms, create a vortex that would draw in the world, in our terms, America, the European Union, NATO, into this war. I mean, I know it's hard to believe for anyone frickin' sane. And then you've got what I've been saying now way back in the 1990s. The idea is for this Third World War to involve Russia and China against the West. Yeah. And what's opening up in the Ukraine, while all this is starting to go on in the Middle East, is another front against Russia. The United States is preparing for a war against Russia through Ukraine, and that what they plan is to try to take Crimea back. Saudi Arabia and Qatar, who are 51st states of the United States, there are many of those, mind, funding this ISIS and funding this terrorism, while the Americans, who could tell them to stop any time, are saying, are condemning the very terrorism that their 51st states are supporting. Well, the picture's so bloody obvious. It's a setup. When you look at it from this perspective, what is happening in the Middle East is not random. None of it's been random. Libya's not been random. Syria's not been random. None of it. And ISIS certainly isn't random. It's part of this long-term plan to take over the world by creating enormous chaos to which they can offer the order out of the chaos, their order, their new world order. When we realize that, we can see that events are not random, but coldly calculated. These people are sheer, undiluted evil. And people need to understand that. Otherwise, they will reject that anyone could do what they're doing and kill and maim and slaughter so many people. They can do it because they have no heart, they have no empathy, they have no emotional compassion, and thus mayhem is their currency, and they have no emotional consequence. They are not like us, so don't judge what they'll do by what you would do, because it ain't the same thing.
And McDonald's, as you've never seen it before, this morning revealing secrets to some of your favorite menu items for the first time.
If McDonald's workers refuse to eat certain meats, there's a reason. McRib. Ever wonder why the McRib keeps disappearing and coming back? It's not because McDonald's is creating demand. The truth is, it only returns when pork prices drop low enough. It's the boomerang of fast food. You throw it away, but it keeps coming back. What are you eating? Not actual ribs. It's ground pork shoulder and trimmings pressed into a rib shape. It's like ordering ribs and getting a cardboard cutout with wheels. The fake shape is held together with meat glue. Yes, meat glue is real, and not what you want to think about while eating. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. It once contained azotic carbonamide, used in yoga mats and shoe soles. When your sandwich shares ingredients with yoga equipment, you're getting more flexibility than you bargained for. Here's a fact that might turn your stomach. Nuggets can be refried up to 3 times before being thrown away. They get dunked in oil more times than a witch at a Salem trial.
And we've come to the end of the video. The last video was so crazy. Bro, these fast foods are poisonous. Like, I feel like we are all supposed to stop eating it and cook a good meal at home and enjoy it. But this is crazy. I mean, but people are, you know, dying for this, and people are being greedy for this, and it's so crazy. Like, the world is messed up. But yeah, hey, learn something from these videos that I share online, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you again in my next video. Bye.